Hello, my name is Zelda, and I'm going to walk you through Assignment 8.1. As you can see, in Assignment 8.1, we're going to take a look at the INACOL standards for quality online teaching. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up this PDF with the link right here. Once I've opened these national standards for quality online teaching, I can go through and take a look at introduction and then the rating scale. As you look at each of these standards, you rate yourself 0, that particular component is absent, all the way up to 4, no improvement needed. So as I start with just Standard A and the substandards or the standards in Standard A, the online teacher knows and understands the current best practices and strategies for online teaching. What I'm going to do is give myself a rating right here from 0 to 4. Now because this is a PDF, you're not able to do that in this particular document. We'll get to that a little bit later. So go through Standard A, B, Standard C, read through and skim all of these different standards because you're going to rate yourself later on for every one of these. Note that it goes all the way down to Standard K. Okay, let's go back to the Haiku launch page and look at the assignment one more time. So if you notice, the assignment is divided in Part 1 and Part 2. Let's look closer at Part 1. So thinking about your experience in LEC, and now you've read the INACOL standards for quality online teaching, you're going to assess your readiness. And you're going to do that using the same standards, but we've created a Google Doc so that you can put in your 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 for each of the standards. To do that, click on the link here. A Google Doc will open. Before we get into the directions here, notice that the Google Doc is view only. So this doc is sort of like a template. You cannot go in here and start filling out the standards and putting your ratings in. The cursor won't click there because it's view only. So to get your own copy of this, you're going to make yourself a copy by going to the File pull-down menu and choose Make a Copy. Now it automatically wants you to enter a new document name. You can leave the name of the document the way it is, and if you go to the front, you'll see that it says Copy of. Go ahead and highlight Copy of and replace it with your name. Say OK. And now I have my own copy of the INACOL teaching standards. Let's take a look at what the directions say in the big box. First of all, you need to make sure you're logged in to your Google account that you've been using for LEC. I just showed you how to choose File, Make a Copy, and put your own name on your own copy. The next thing you want to do is make sure that the permissions are set to anyone with the link can view. To do that, I go to Share, and right now it's private, only I can access, so I want to change that because your teachers and others need to be able to see this. I'm going to change it to anyone with the link can view or can edit. Once I've made those selections, I click Save, and then I can click Done. Now you'll note that also we'll do this part in just a minute, the Haiku for how to submit the assignment in your wiki site. But when you're done with this, notice this last set of directions here. Oops. Let me get it back to where it was. Okay. The last directions are delete this instruction box from your document before you're submitting. So when you get done with this and you're ready to finish it up, I'm going to, of course, put my name right here. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to hit the delete button. Now you'll notice it doesn't get rid of the entire table. So in order to get rid of this part of the table right here, I'm going to go up to the Table pull-down menu and I'm going to say Delete Table. And now I'm ready to go in and I can now click my cursor in and give myself a rating for each of these standards. When I get completed with this, I'm going to then want to put it in my Haiku wiki site. Now, some of you like to use the embed code, which you can find by going to File and Publish to the web. I'm not going to do that because Haiku really doesn't like Google Doc web embed codes that much. It's much cleaner to simply come into your document, do a copy, into the edit I should have said, or in my case I'm just going to say Command or Control A. Now that's for the headers. Each of the pages, notice, has headers. So I don't really need those headers anymore because I only want the actual work I've done here. So if I click down into where it says Standard A and I do Select All, it's going to select all of the standards, but it's not going to select the headers. The header is just there to remind you of the rating scale. You don't need it anymore. Once I said Select All, now I'm going to do Copy. So Edit, Copy. Now I'm going to come back into my Haiku. And I'm going to come back to my launch page for Module 8, and here at the bottom of the page is View Projects. I go to View Projects, and of course I'm Zelda, so I am going to go into my wiki site. Now you'll notice I have some things already in here because I was playing around as Zelda earlier, so I'm going to get rid of these other content blocks so that I have a fresh page. And here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, it says automatically first page. I'm going to say this is Zelda's reflection. And it'll be better if I get it. There we go. So I'm going to get rid of that first. And then I'm going to say Zelda's reflection 8.1. And save that. Then I'm going to add a content block. I'm not going to embed because we just grabbed the whole thing. So I say add content block. In this case I want on-page text. And I've got to give that a title. And then I simply come in here and I say paste. And there is my standard A and all the work I've done. I click on save. And I now have a content block where I've copied over my entire set of standards and my ratings. The second part of this assignment, so let's go back to the actual Module 8 page. Scroll back down to 8.1. As you can see in Part 2, you're going to write a written reflection on how you did in rating yourself on the iNiCOL standards. But you're going to consider that in the context of these three questions right here. So how have you changed as a learner and instructor? What is your action plan for implementing changes in your teaching practice as a result of this new learning? And how do you plan to continue your learning about online teaching? In fact, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to come back into my wiki site. So I go to View Projects, go to my wiki site, and I'm going to add another content block. And once again, I'm going to use on-page text. And this is going to be my iNiCOL reflection. And the first thing I'll probably do is go ahead and paste those three questions there. That'll help me remember what it is that I'm responding to. If you wish, you can actually go in and write a reflection for each one of the questions. A lot of people like to do it that way. That way it's really clear that you're answering all three questions. Once you get done typing in your reflection, you simply hit save, and your 8.1 project is ready to go. Well, that's it. Enjoy.